Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of the Coffee and Coaching podcast. Today, me and Jack are joined by one of our friends. You know, one of them friends that just goes missing for like 10 years and then you see them again, just out the blue, and they just act like it's normal. Well, that's what Lucy is to us. Nice to see you.
Hello.
Introduce yourself and
Hi.
explain what you do.
Hi, I'm Lucy Brabin. I'm a female personal trainer based in Huyton at the moment, and I train men and women.
Love it. It was the best introduction.
Straight in there with the simple facts.
You're sweet to the point.
I am a personal trainer. I train both men and women. Done.
We only see you, Lucy, like once every couple of months. So, like, you've got very good at just this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. See you later. Catch you in 4 months.
Well, yeah, I like to. Okay, so I'm a female personal trainer who trains men and women to get sustainable results.
I'm dead. Set me off now. I've got the giggles, man.
So we asked you to put a couple of questions on your.
First, lad, fucking hell. Coffees.
Ooh, fuck.
Get the coffee up.
Yeah. Well, go on. Tell everyone. Admit, Lucy. Tell us what coffee you've got.
I haven't got any coffee today, guys. It's a Volvic water.
So
I had my pre-workout this morning.
Do you ever feel like you're lying to people? Because like we brought this content, we brought this podcast out, and we were like, yeah, every episode
coffee and coaching.
Talk about coffee. We named it Coffee and Coaching. There's a coffee mug on the logo.
Guys, I do like coffee, but right now, you know what I mean? I've had the pre-workout, I've done the session, I'm ready to bring my body into a parasympathetic state.
Oh, fair enough.
There you go.
Use the big word, so we'll let you off.
I'm rocking a Starbucks, thick grind, in a, what do you call these? Is it a cafetiere?
I think you can call it a French press or a cafetiere.
French press. And I put a little bit of lactose-free milk in it as a little treat.
Ooh.
Love that.
I'm 3 coffees deep this morning.
Yeah.
I've done a can of Monster. And I'm struggling to sit still in my chair.
Yeah, this is mine and Jack's second podcast of the day. So we're just caffeinated to fuck and feeling a bit rowdy.
I could do with a modafinil.
Modafinil. That's the one.
Can't even get your words out now. This is going to be an interesting recording, this.
Yeah, I'm going to have to spend about 10 hours editing it.
Yeah. To make us sound like we're not imbeciles, just laughing the whole way through the front of it.
Right.
Okay.
Let's start. Let's compose ourselves. Lucy, you're talking. I mean, you basically gave us a fantastic introduction of yourself. You're a female PT who trains men and women. What's it like to be a female training men?
I'd say, in my opinion, it's quite fun. I wouldn't like to close myself off to the possibility of training the opposite sex just because of the opposite sex. I feel like as a female trainer, like there's nothing stopping me from getting a result with a male, just in the same way that I'd get a result with a female. I think maybe males can kind of be put off coming to a female PT, but maybe that's because some female personal trainers do actually close themselves off to the possibility of training males. So I don't know if whether that gives men a little bit more reluctance to come to a female PT like me.
Definitely. I think the idea for a lot of men getting trained by a female is like the way society is conditioned us is that like men are the dominant ones, if that makes sense. So if you're being told what to do and the females in the position of power, it's a little bit emasculating. I feel like a lot of men would feel that way regardless of how good the coach is. It's just like, if it's just a female telling me what to do, it's just, I don't feel like a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd say that I've had a few in the minority. Sorry, I'm going to fix this door. Like, I'm just going to pause what I was saying there and fucking put something on it because you have to edit this bit out because that is annoying and you're going to hear it on the video.
Don't edit that out. That stays.
I'm not editing that.
No, that stays. That's funny.
Not edited that.
Right, yeah. I think that maybe I've had a few male clients in the minority, like that I think feel a little bit emasculated by me.
Which is normal because you're an absolute unit. You're bigger than them all.
Yeah. I think that the way
You're better
initially.
delts than me.
Yeah, well, thank you. I love a good delt. I think that maybe initially they kind of feel as though they're not going to get a good result with me because I am a female. So to cater to a male, I think in their mind is a little bit harder. But the truth of it is, if you're a good coach, you will be good at coaching anybody regardless. So especially if you're somebody who is obviously open to training both males and females, then you've got to ensure that you're equipped with the knowledge to deal with both male and female, as obviously they are slightly different. But yeah, I think that they get over that by session 2.
It's not like you go on, Jack. Sorry.
I think my favourite thing, we were saying this before we started recording, like my favourite thing, I've watched it with you and I've watched it with Nat, who we've just had on the last episode, is like, I think not going to go down the whole feminist route of like all like hating men, different topic, ignore that. However, let's empower women. Yeah, definitely. And the fact that there are men out there that feel uncomfortable getting trained by women and then are thrown into a situation where they're looking at a female coach going, what the fuck's this?
There's no way this little girl could put me through anything challenging.
Lucy's fucking screaming at them and they're thinking, oh my God, I can't finish this set. What the hell's going on? That gives me like a warm, fuzzy feeling inside to actually watch that happen. Like, just an ego getting checked. I love an ego getting checked in the gym.
Yeah.
Anyway, regardless of the situation.
I'd say that's why maybe training males as a female is rather fun, just because you can kind of see how far you can just push them until you just think, you know what, no, I'm done, till you get them to break.
It's almost like when I've watched you in sessions, it's like they're trying to prove that they can do anything that you ask them to.
Yeah.
But they can't.
I definitely do think that that's the case, because I feel like lads will be all too happy to pick up the heavier dumbbells that are going to be like a personal best of theirs or whatever, picking them up confidence, they're going for it. And like, I think that's where egos get mainly checked. They think they can handle more weight than they can because they're a male. They think that they can do more sets than you could because you're a female. It's funny. That's probably like my favourite thing about training lads, and they actually get to see how far they truly can be pushed, because I feel like obviously they're putting that extra little bit of effort in to try and prove a point as well.
Yeah, I think you get the chance to push males further because they feel like they've got more to prove to you.
Yeah.
If anything, obviously it's going to get them a great result because they're training harder, but if anything, they're going to find out pretty quickly and a lot quicker than normal that you trying to outprove your trainer because she's a female is only going to end badly for you.
Yeah, literally I agree with that statement.
Do you enjoy being on a bench next to a man and lifting heavier than him? Is that funny for you?
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's funny. I'd say because everybody's at their own place in their journey or whatever. You can't, like everyone says, you can't compare your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 20 or whatever. So not funny like haha, but funny in the sense of like, I suppose they're being challenged, especially when they're looking at you going like, what the fuck? Like, how is this girl lifting this, or how is this girl doing like that many sets of that or whatever? So I think like ego definitely gets checked in that sense, especially even if you just like, I've watched it happen in the gym before, even if it's just a female who's like deadlifting pretty heavy or whatever, like you get lads who are staring and going like, what on earth?
It's one of my favourite things, especially like because I've seen it firsthand with you, that you're not built for how strong you are. Like,
like a little male in a female.
The weights you can lift. Like, remember when I never used to like barbell hip thrust?
Yeah, I was about to say that. Man, we were training together. We started hip thrusting, and I think I could do like just over 100. You could at the time. it was new, obviously, so we were weak at it. You could do like 140, and then we were like, yo, Luce, what do you hip thrust? And we were like, and you went 150 or 160, and we were like,
Jack's motivation to train was genuinely the fact that he was going to beat a little blonde girl. Like, for a long time, like, Jack was like, I am going to beat you. This is going to happen. I thought that was impressive.
My main competition at one point in time was a 60 kilo, like 5'4" blonde female.
5'6", but yeah, you were 2 inches off, but yeah.
You were wiping the floor with me. And I'm not afraid to admit that.
hilarious.
Strong AF.
Strong AF, man.
I think that maybe that's why I enjoy training with lads as well. Like, I have a lot of male friends in this industry. I have some female friends too, but I'd say that I tend to gravitate towards more males in this industry because I feel like it's go hard or go home. Not that I'm saying that females don't tend to do that, but I think that the fitness route that society kind of ingrains upon females is that it's all high rep, banded glute work, and I think that like that's kind of a bit disillusioning for a female in fitness because it's kind of, and it's confusing. It's confusing for the beginner because like they're looking at that kind of content and thinking that that's the only thing that they can do. So you find that a lot of females, not all, definitely not saying all, there's a lot of hardcore females that I know as well, but I've witnessed it time and time again with beginners. They'll think that high rep work and banded glute stuff is the only way that they're ever going to get a result, like, and they won't push themselves to that like dark place when you're training heavy, whereas I feel like lads are all too ready to jump into that dark place, especially if they're experienced with training. They're all too ready to jump into that dark place, and they're all too ready to push you to that dark place as well, especially if they know that like a female enjoys training heavy. I feel like it's encouraging to train with like-minded people.
I think
like,
one thing that sets you apart from a lot of female trainers that we know is that if someone is going to come and train with you, they need to be ready to go hard. Like,
yeah,
there's not going to be any jumping around, flapping your arms about stuff. Like, if you're hiring Lucy Brabin as a coach, then you need to know you're going to be working hard. Like,
yeah, I'm not really, not to say that it's a bad thing again, but just for me personally, I'm not really too much of like a hit girl, or even with clients. Like, obviously right now I know that people have kind of gotten into the whole home workout schedule of like doing a hit in the morning or following the live workout, and I think that it's all good, and I think that the information out there, or most of it anyway, the bulk of it is good info. It's good, it gets everybody involved. The hit workouts and stuff are brilliant, especially if you enjoy that kind of training. But I don't really enjoy that kind of training myself, and I don't really have that many clients who come to me looking for that kind of training. I'm more about like resistance training and then cardio when necessary. If you want to do a hit workout twice a week or whatever, fantastic, it'll aid in your goal, and you can do that at home on your own for 15 minutes. I don't really feel like it's something that needs particular coaching. I feel like when you're resistance training and lifting heavier, and like with compound movements, like, you know, your deadlift especially, deadlift, squat, bench, things like that are hard to kind of get to grips with, especially if you're a beginner. So I feel like those things need that extra attention and that extra coaching, and that's the kind of stuff that I prefer to focus on in my sessions, rather than the things that I know that a client could do at home. And if they can't do it at home, I'll show them how to do it at home. Like, I don't feel like that needs like me stood next to them and showing them how to do a burpee.
You did a post about that, Jack, didn't you? Like,
yeah, I was literally
why are you employing a personal trainer to stand next to you on the treadmill?
What
are you doing?
You are so far the opposite direction of a coach that's going to tell you to get on the treadmill and talk about your day for 15 minutes while you stand there. Like,
there's more effective things that you could be doing with that time. Because so if your client wants to get on the treadmill for 10 minutes to, like, you know, like limber up the body or whatever it is that they think that they're doing by getting on the treadmill and walking for 10 minutes, then fantastic. But tell them to come to the session 10 minutes early so that they can get that part of their session finished, boxed off, and then by the time that they're in with you, you're focusing on the important stuff. And not, you know, not to say that asking your clients about their day isn't important, but you can do that while you're getting down to business. Like, it doesn't need to be you stood there staring at them for 15 minutes of the 45-minute session and then they end up with 30 minutes of any kind of quality coaching. And to be honest, probably even less, because obviously you're going to have breaks in between sets, your client's going to want to rehydrate, whatever it is. So really and truly, you're probably going to end up with 20-25 minutes of true quality coaching if you're spending 15 minutes on the treadmill.
Exactly. The time that the client is paying for has got to be as efficient as possible. Can't be sat there just taking the piss. I think what would be a good thing to touch upon in a little bit is myth busting, why the fuck people shouldn't be doing crab walks with bands around the fucking knees. But first, should we outline what the basic, going back to what you said at the start, like, men don't think that you'll be able to train them because you're a female. In general, like, are there, like, let's talk about the differences between that you see between training men and females. Like, what do you do anything differently when you're programming for them? Do you see different issues consistently pop up with your females versus your male clients?
So I'd say obviously the main difference between men and women is, like, women obviously have a period and a menstrual cycle that goes with it. So at certain times within the month, like, there are certain times when cravings will spike, like the want to eat more is there, and maybe the weight gain as well. Not to say that it's necessarily weight gain, it's most likely water weight, but you see a lot more fluctuation with females, I'd say. So when programming, you have to just kind of take into account that, like, you know, every week you aren't going to see a massive drop. Like, some weeks maybe it'll go up, but that's down to, if the client is following the program closely, that is mostly down to hormones. And you know what I mean? Like, if you're a female, I feel like you have to even though it's something that you wish didn't happen, you have to get used to the fact that your body is consistently changing all the time. It's always going through a cycle, and at different points in the month, you're going to experience a decrease in strength, maybe an increase in strength at certain points of the month. You're going to feel less motivated and with less energy during the month. And but I feel like in general, like, so the menstrual cycle, I'd say, is one of the biggest things, and it does take a toll in terms of hormonal balance and stuff like that, and obviously that relates to your strength and all the rest of it. But I also think that, like, males and females are pretty similar in the sense of you may not see the weight go down with a male every single week. You may not see that quickness with a male, but you can expect males to get maybe more of a consistent drop, or more of like a routine, let's say, kind of drop in weight if their goal is fat loss. But other than that, not much changes program wise. Like, I tend to do the same compound lift with males as what I do with females. I don't think there is no gender specific, like, training program that is
the basic principles are just exactly the same.
Nothing changes.
You want to lose weight, reduce stress, calorie deficit, train hard, retain your muscle. If you want to gain weight and put muscle on, train hard, eat a lot of food.
There's essentially no difference other than there's essentially no difference other than, obviously, like I said, I touched upon the menstrual cycle. It's not the be all and end all, but when programming and when dealing with female clients, there is that factor that you do need to, like, be sensitive towards, as in, you know, if you're a good coach, you wouldn't do this anyway, but I know plenty that do. Don't bollock your client for putting on a 0.5 of a kilo, like, during their menstrual cycle, like, during when they're about to come on their period. Like, sorry guys, but it's just what it is. You know, the female body does fluctuate a little bit more than male, so I think that sometimes some male coaches kind of don't get that fully.
Yeah.
In which case, like, it's such easy info to look up, and to, like, as well, if you're dealing with like female clients who particularly struggle with their diet and nutrition around this time, then simply, me personally, I would simply take the calories slightly up and then bring it slightly down when that little phase has passed.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
I think
go on, sorry.
Where you were saying like the certain things you enjoy about training male clients as a female, that's one of the little things I enjoy as a male coaching females.
That's so interesting.
There are differences in male to female in the menstrual cycle. Some men aren't comfortable talking about, whereas when it comes to body composition and training, it massively impacts everything. It impacts your diet, mood, how
definitely
you can actually train. So when you sit down with a new client and you're like, right, we're going to talk about your menstrual cycle now.
They're like,
I'm probably going to tell you some things that you didn't know.
Yeah.
And it's coming from a male and they're like, oh, wow, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because there's reasons for everything. I think sometimes when females come to you in the first instance, they're like, you know, like, say if they've been with you for 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks, and then they experience a dip in energy, and then that dip in energy leads to a dip in motivation, and then because of the dip in energy and motivation, they feel like they're snacking more, they feel like they're maybe not sticking to plan more. That is your job as a coach, to explain to them why they feel this way and give them an active solution that they can then put in place to ensure they still reach their goals, because it is totally doable. It's just that some coaches either don't know, don't find the time, or don't care enough to make those changes for their female clients.
What I've done in the past... Sorry, Jack.
Sorry, or they just don't feel comfortable talking about it.
Yeah, which is mad, because really and truly, like, if you're a male, I know it's a little bit of a weird one to approach, because you never know if you're going to offend somebody, or you never know if someone is going to feel comfortable talking with you like that. But I think if you approach it in the way that you do, Jack, I know that you're kind of open and stuff with your clients. If you approach it in just a really casual way and explain to them the kind of the outline of what the menstrual cycle means for a woman who's trying to lose weight, let's say, I feel like women are much more open to talking to their male trainer about it once they've brought the subject up and kind of said, well, actually, maybe this is why your mood's feeling a bit low, maybe this is why you're feeling a bit demotivated. I think that it's much easier if you just approach the situation really casually and scientifically. It's just the scientific process of the body. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
I read a paper once, and it was talking about how certain, obviously when your hunger goes up, depending on what time of the month it is, it translates to about a desire to eat about 200 extra calories a day, but then people actually end up eating like 600-700 calories on top of what they normally would. But if you can, like, if they're in a dieting phase, that is, so if you, and they're restricting themselves, if, like, what I've found works like ridiculously well pretty much every single time I've put it in place, just 200 extra calories of fruit, specifically fruit. And I got it from James Smith.
Yeah,
it's like, literally, it's like fruit, like you're craving like high calorie things, and fruit is essentially sugar, so it has the same neurochemical response as eating sweets would do, effectively. So it's like, if you're craving loads of food, if you just implement, instead of saying, right, say your calories are 1500 throughout the month, instead of keeping on that and trying to grit your teeth and go through that whilst you're going through this period of extra hunger, like, actually just put your calories up by 200 and get it all from fruit.
Yeah.
And then now you're not going to go and fuck your diet up over that 1 week.
I think that a lot of clients and trainers are scared to up the calorie count of a female client, because it's like, oh God, well, what if they don't get that 8-week transformation that they're after, or what? It's not really. That's where it's our job as a coach to understand that, yes, it is about getting a result for the client. Of course it is. That's why they're paying us. But it is also about education and educating them on the reasons why we are doing these things. If that 200 calorie bump is right for that client at that time, then you as a coach have to explain to that client that that is exactly why we're doing it, and it's going to benefit you in the long run. Otherwise, you know, we're giving you 200 extra calories, you're going to end up eating the 600 anyway. So do what we say, you'll probably stay in your calorie deficit and you'll probably still see the results that you're after. You're just being a lot kinder to yourself about it and not being as hard on yourself. You're simply making the changes that you need in accordance with the cycle.
Exactly.
Literally had this conversation yesterday with someone. Again, just one of these calls that I've mentioned before where I'll just literally book a call in with someone and chat to them for like an hour.
Yeah.
For some help. And main issue was if she just diets, she can lose weight. If she diets and trains, she gains weight.
Interesting.
Like, okay, when you're dieting alone, are the calories the same as when you're dieting and training? And she was like, yeah. I was like, okay, what are the calories? She was like, 1,200. I was like, there you go. I was like, explain to her like BMR, like total calories burned over the day and stuff. Explain that like if you're training, you're burning more calories, need more food on those days. And I was like, you're making it harder for yourself. Like the diet alone, if you can just solely focus on the diet, then yeah, it's achievable to go low on calories like that because you've not got to recover from training and other stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're training, you're going to need more food. You're going to feel more hungry. So you end up overeating because your calories are low and you can't stick to it. And then introduced like information about the menstrual cycle and how for those like pretty much 2 weeks around menstruation, you're going to want to eat a little bit more food.
Yeah.
So do. And just
yeah.
up calories
And
a little bit.
Yeah, and that's not you. That's not you as a coach giving somebody free rein to go and eat whatever they want. This is you making simple, like, tweaks to somebody's everyday diet that are going to benefit them in the long run and still get them a result.
And
they may not understand it at the time, but that is the reasoning behind it.
My favourite thing that comes from that call, and it happens all the time as well, is I was like, so what I'd do is I'd start on these calories on rest days, and I'd start on these calories on training days for the 2 weeks post-menstruation. And I'd start on these calories and training and rest days during like the menstruation 2 week window. And she was like, that many?
Madness, isn't it?
Calories. And I was like, yeah, you'd be sweet. Like, if you don't lose weight, sound. As long as if you don't gain weight, or it goes up by like a pound or a kilo or whatever, like, sound. But you know it's coming off in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, so, and this is the thing as well. I think that I've found that a lot of girls don't want to do that. They don't want to put the calories up. It's madness how much I've seen, especially over this lockdown. Like, really? You think that I should be eating that many? Yes, I do think that you should be eating that many.
People overestimate what a calorie does. Like, if you up your like, there's not that much difference between 15 and 800 calories. Like 300. If you eat that, if you're in a 300 calorie surplus for 10 days, nothing happens. And most of the time, if you up your calories by 300, you're still going to be in a deficit anyway. So
that's the other thing I always say to people as well, is like, I'm making these numbers up essentially. I'm using some maths and I'm using my knowledge to give a baseline.
Yeah, but it's just a guestimation.
Yeah. If I get it wrong,
you just change them.
I was like, don't stress about it because we'll just change them and then you'll lose weight. So don't freak out about it. Like, things will change. Like, we're figuring this shit out, so just chill. It's all right. Just you've been to someone before and they've been like, you need to lose this much weight. Oh, you haven't lost this much weight this week. And then you come to someone like us and we're like, no, don't worry about it, we'll fix it.
Yeah, don't worry guys, we'll fix this, it's fine.
It's just like, okay, so them calories were a little bit high. All right, we'll pull them back a bit. Or, those calories were a little bit low and you can't stick to them. Let's put them up a little bit.
Yeah.
Literally.
It's not a big thing because there's so much other things going on that we're focusing on.
What people need to realise as well, going back to what you were saying when you gave the woman on that phone call her calories, and she's like, whoa, that's so high. People, like, when you're trying to improve body composition, you're trying to grow muscle and lose fat. Like, you can't grow muscle on 1,200 calories unless you're like 4 foot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's an exaggeration.
Well,
obviously,
that's a problem.
It's all relative. But like, if you're in like we said this we did the whole podcast on stress, didn't we? I think it was in that one. Sorry, it was like, if you're in a 1,000 calorie deficit, you're not retaining muscle.
No.
And I think that's a problem that, as trainers, like as coaches, we're seeing this all the time. So we're seeing these people come to us who are in a mess from other trainers, or in a mess because they've read some information, thought that they had it right in their head, and then they went and slashed their calories right down and dropped a load of weight, but now they're not going anywhere, and they've stuck to it for a period of time, but like they're seeing no change now, and they've plateaued, and there's literally nowhere to go in their mind. And then they come to people like me and discuss it's literally like, so I actually had a conversation with a girl, and it was literally this scenario, and she come to me and was saying, like, you know, like, what do I do? And I was like, well, the reason you're not making progress anymore is because your body literally has nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go from where you are. Like, you know what I mean? Your calories are so low that what can your body do? What are you fueling your body for? So I basically explained to her what reverse dieting was and suggested that this would be the best move to get her in a place to then restart the fat loss phase and get her to her goal, because she hadn't lost the weight that she had wanted to lose. But that was simply because the calories were dropped too low far too soon, which is why, like, slow and steady is always going to win the race. A lot faster metaphorically than what a 6-week plan will, because the 6-week plan will get you the result initially. It will get you the result quickly, but then what happens after those 6 weeks? What happens when you're left on your own? You don't know what to eat, how to eat, because you've been following a meal plan for so long. You've been following the chicken and broccoli diet for that long that you don't know any other way to eat, and you haven't educated yourself, or your coach, I should say, has not educated you on what nutrients your body specifically needs. They've given you a cookie cutter plan. And so that is the problem that I'm seeing consistently throughout this industry. This is probably the thing that I get the most DMs about. And it's literally like, oh my God, like, what the hell do I do? I'm eating 1,200 calories. Like, I don't eat that much. Like, how come I am not losing weight? And there is a simple answer. You have been in a calorie deficit for too long, probably. You have exhausted your calorie deficit down to the ground, and now no results are coming your way because there's nowhere to physically go. And you're probably still not going to achieve the physique that you want, because you're not going to be able to build any muscle, as Isaac was saying before. So you'll kind of still be left with the same frame, just smaller.
It's important to mention on that one as well, like we've spoke about this before, me and Isaac have had like discussions on this as well. When you reach like that low calorie point that you've got clients on and they're like, I'm on 1,100 calories and I'm not losing weight, I'm definitely not going to go up to 1,800, because then I'll gain weight. And what we know is going on, and what it's hard to explain to them, is that we know you're not eating 1,100 calories.
Yeah.
Like, scientifically, if you were strictly sticking to 1,100 calories, chances are you would be losing weight.
Yeah.
Because it's so difficult to stay that restricted for so long.
You're cheating the diet.
To 1,100 calories, and then on Saturday or Sunday or Wednesday afternoon, something high calorie goes in that blows that 1,100 calories out the window that they're not even registering. Because they're just
probably as well
disappointed in going over 1,100 calories. But then if they were to actually log all of the 1,800 calories, it would probably be less calories than what they are consuming now when they're trying and failing at sticking to 1,100.
Yeah, and let's be honest, if you are in such low calories, and bearing in mind, we're talking about Gen Pop clients here, we're not talking about like prep clients or anything like that. If your calories are that low, it is not sustainable. There is no way that you're going to continue to eat 1,100 calories for the rest of your existence. Like, and to be honest, why would you want to? What a sad existence that would be.
Miserable.
Yeah, and the thing is, you should be kind of, I think what we all kind of do as coaches is look to make the results as sustainable as possible for the client and as enjoyable as possible, because I literally did a post about this today on Instagram, and it was just like, why are you, okay, so like, I hate the word diet, but let's use it. So you are dieting to reach a particular goal, the goal here being fat loss. Why make it more miserable and harder than it needs to be? Why not just allow your coach or employ a coach to teach you those qualities, those little knowledge bombs about your nutrition, and maybe you're somebody who needs a bit more hands-on guidance. So maybe you need a coach who is going to provide you with your calories, your macros, and then maybe some recipe ideas. Maybe that's the problem. But I think that when we're taking on clients, a lot of us will have seen clients come to you being like, can you just give me a meal plan? Can you provide me with a meal plan? No, I can't, because that is not teaching you anything about food. It's not teaching you anything about what you're consuming. It's not teaching you about protein. It's not teaching you the fundamentals of nutrition and why you are consuming the things that you're consuming. So, like, looking for a cookie cutter meal plan and expecting like it to just work, and it's 1,100 calories, so of course, like, yeah, of course it'll work for what? For 2 months.
Let me ask you this one. You've probably, I've had it, so I'm sure you've had it, is when a client's come to you and they want a meal plan, and like there's a time and a place for a meal plan.
Yeah.
Along with education. But when a client comes to you, asks for a meal plan, and they go, oh no, I don't want that. I just need a meal plan. And yeah, in your head you're going, you don't just need a meal plan.
You need the whole knowledge. You need it all.
To move you the fuck away from a meal plan, because just the simple fact that you feel like you need a meal plan to lose weight signifies how much you don't just need a meal plan.
Yeah, because I don't think there's anything wrong with initially giving the client so maybe they've never trained with a personal trainer before. Maybe they're coming from a place of never having dieted before, whatever it is. Maybe they're a complete novice to fitness, and giving them some ideas of what they can eat and stuff like that is fine. But I think that sometimes these meal plans are given out and clients are expected to follow them to the letter. And the truth is, we know that doesn't happen. We know that clients don't do that. They will tell you that they've ate what they've ate on the plan, and really, like, they've ate that and then some. What's the point in giving them this miserable meal plan that, like, is chicken and broccoli forever, and like and they're not enjoying it? They're actually hating it. There's no enjoyability about it, because I feel like that kind of sucks the whole life out of it. You should be enjoying the process. I say enjoying loosely because obviously it's like it's graft, but you should be enjoying it as much as possible.
Yeah, like people who just eat chicken and broccoli first, like that diet, you're not getting the nutrients that your body needs. If you're eating the same vegetable repeatedly and the same meat repeatedly, let's take chicken and broccoli, you're getting no iron. You're getting very little iron in your diet from eat some red meat, you dickhead. Also, like, there's only so many vitamins and minerals in broccoli. Like, get some spinach in, put some onion in your fucking scran, get some.
And it can lead to digestive issues as well, can't it? By repetitively eating the exact same thing for a sustained long period of
time. I'm sure he won't mind us mentioning it, because he speaks quite openly to us about it. But Danny struggled for years. And still now trying to get to the bottom of it, because stuck to the same. I think it was chicken and broccoli, wasn't it? He said.
Something like that.
Just stuck to the same meals for ages, and his digestive system just
doesn't work no more.
Forgot how to digest everything else.
Yeah, but that alone is just enough. But also, it's like what you just said. You need to enjoy it. Like, what the fuck are you making hard for yourself for? Like,
you said that the other week on another podcast.
It's like season. Like, I replayed the thing back, and I was crying laughing. You season your fucking food, man.
Yeah, like, literally season
why
it.
Are you plain chicken? Like, these horrible. Like, what knocks me sick specifically is when people just have white boiled chicken with nothing on.
Couldn't have that.
Just get in the bin. Just
couldn't have
put
that.
it on your plate. Just put it in the bin straight away. But just shit, man. Just season it.
We hate boiled chicken.
Even though we were talking, like, season your veg as well. Like, veg doesn't taste that good. Season it.
Well, I don't really like veg. I know why you don't like veg.
Yeah.
You don't like veg because you're buying frozen veg, cooking it in a microwave, and eating that sweaty, wet, slightly warm veg.
Yeah, like a lot of my friends, I've got a good 4 or 5 friends who don't eat vegetables. And it's like, I know why you don't eat vegetables, because I've been at your house when I was a child for dinner, and I've seen what gets put on your plate. It's not.
I've seen them nasty arse over.
It's not real veg, hun.
Vegetables getting put on your plate. Roast a vegetable.
No, but like, even the thing is that there's so many things that you can do, and I know, listen, like, I know, like, maybe a handful of people who will say, like, oh yeah, like, I love this particular veg. Like, I'm not like the most huge fan of vegetables. I eat them because I'm an adult.
Yeah.
I'm an adult, and I've got goals, and in order to be a healthy human being, you have to have these nutrients, and the way you're going to get them is from your vegetables.
Yeah.
So eat them and do what you need to do to eat them. If you need to put some skinny sauce on it, put some skinny sauce on it. Like, you do what you need to do.
Yeah. Like what were you talking about? Salt and pepper broccoli in the other podcast, Jack?
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking unreal.
Yeah, I salt and pepper everything.
Yeah. The season and it'll
Yeah.
take, like that. The way you've just said that then sums it up perfectly. Like, you're not a 5-year-old and your mum's no longer there to tell you to eat your veg or you can't have a dessert. Just be an adult. Like,
Yeah.
it needs to be done. You know, there isn't one human out there that doesn't know the vegetables are good for you.
Yeah.
Just, like,
and you got to do what you've got to do. At the end of the day, we'll say this time and time again as personal trainers, as coaches. I know that as a coach, I have said this 1,000 times, but like, nothing good ever came from staying comfortable. And if eating veg makes you uncomfortable, then that is what it is. You got to deal with the uncomfortableness of it all. Like, this is the thing. Nothing amazing ever happens when we're just sat around like stagnated. Like, good things happen when you push yourself out your comfort zone. And if as little as it is, if pushing yourself out your comfort zone means that you start to consume some vegetables, then that's what it is. Your body's going to thank you for it. The fact of the matter is, to see a result, if it's really something you want, you'll do whatever it is that you need to do to get there. Hopefully your coach is going to make it as attainable for you as possible, but you're going to do what you need to do. That means that you need to have a serving of vegetables a day, and that's what you need to do to get to that place in a healthy way.
But what are we even talking about? Like, it's the logic behind it. It's the same on the whole race. Like, I know, like, there was the whole Blackout Tuesday yesterday, and people saying, like, this shouldn't even be a discussion. There are things that exist in the fitness industry that shouldn't even be a discussion. Like,
well, yeah,
adult, deal with it. What are we actually talking about? We're talking about eating a vegetable. I
think that all of this
broken glass. Like,
yeah,
yesterday on that podcast, we're not asking you to go out and hug every ethnic minority in the world. We're literally just asking you to be an adult and stop being a bit of a dickhead.
Yeah.
Like, what are we discussing? Like, we're having this discussion now about I don't like vegetables. Like, shut up.
Like, a lot of this stuff starts in childhood, though.
Put broccoli on your plate. That's it. You've done it. You've achieved it.
But it comes from weak discipline as parents when the kid's like 6. Like, tell your kid to eat this fucking broccoli.
I think that, like, it is a problem, actually, that, like, we are seeing.
Can I just cut in and apologise that if I tried to sound like I was comparing eating vegetables to the racism issue that we dealt with yesterday? I wasn't. I'm just pointing out the fact that there are discussions that don't need to happen but still seem to be happening all the time. Very different situations altogether.
Like,
I want to take away from the seriousness of everything that we've done yesterday because of vegetables today. So if anyone,
I think that, like,
I'd like to apologise for that.
I think a lot of people are starting to notice that this kind of thing actually begins in childhood, though. So, like, I feel like health isn't promoted by parents, and so they raise unhealthy children. And, like, that's not me coming for anyone's parenting skills. It's just me stating a fact that we see time and time again in like the rise in numbers of obese children. Like, if we're gonna, it's quite a serious topic, really, but if we're gonna talk about something as simple as not eating your vegetables, we know where this comes from already, because research has been done on it for years. This comes from childhood. And so if in childhood you were never taught to be healthy, then it's your job as an adult to choose to be healthy and look after your body. It's as simple as that. Like, sometimes, nobody's saying that everybody has to train for aesthetics. Sometimes it really is just about actual health and about not being obese and not getting diseases.
Yeah,
Like sometimes it really is as simple as that. It's just about making you the most healthy version of you that you could possibly be.
like Liverpool is one of the most is one of the cities that's highest in childhood obesity. There was have I ever chatted about it? You know, when we used to all go to the Starbucks, actually, the Starbucks in Speak. Did I ever tell you about the lecturer that I got talking to?
Yeah, I think I remember.
Dude called Robert Noonan, I'm sure his name is. And then at the time, I went away after speaking to him and read loads of his papers, and he's researching. All of his research basically is in the relationship between sort of how society is set up and different demographics and levels of health basically. And Liverpool is massive in childhood obesity, and it's largely down to the fact it's such a deprived city. And it's like it costs a lot for families that are poor. It costs a lot to be able to in comparison to. I'm gonna start again because that was terrible. Right. It costs more to eat vegetables than it does to eat Mackies. And going back to what we were talking about before the podcast as well, hyperpalatable foods, like what looks better, a Mackies or some vegetables. And if you're a family that is not necessarily educated about health and you happen to be poor, it's much easier to just go to Mackies every night. And then rather than spend time cooking meals. And that is bred through generations, and then that's why childhood obesity is going up.
It is really sad because like as well, like as much as I agree with the whole healthy food tends to be like the more expensive option, and so obviously that is going to show like that's going to so let me say that again.
We both just had the brain fart.
Yeah, literally. You can delete that bit. Yeah.
Nah.
So basically, although I understand that like the obesity correlates with what kind of like income people may have due to the fact that like vegetables, like lean meat, etc., may be seen as the more expensive option over something that's fast food, and you can get like something off the £1 menu or whatever it is. I think that like sometimes things are marketed as more expensive than what they actually are as well. So like you can always find cheaper produce. Like it's never, you don't have to be unhealthy just because you're not in the best financial situation. Don't get me wrong, I completely understand that like it's hard with children, and it is often a lot less expensive to just kind of go and buy whatever. But it just takes a little bit of effort in looking. That's the thing. And and as well, like, let's not forget, although, okay, frozen might not be the most tastiest, frozen is also cheaper and it also lasts a lot longer. So if you want to buy frozen chicken breasts or whatever it is and frozen broccoli, you buy those frozen things that fit your budget. You make your lifestyle work for you, because, you know, you're going to get to a point where you're gonna need other people to kind of intervene and help you out with your nutrition and your fitness and like your health. And we don't really want anybody to be getting to the point where they're like 300 pounds. And like, have you seen, so this is like on topic but off topic, like my 300-pound life and things like that. Like, and these YouTubers who like do these mukbangs, and they're extremely overweight, and they come from, and like a lot of them do come from like deprived homes and stuff, so this is the kind of food that they've grown up on. And like, it's so understandable to me that as a deprived family you would go for the cheaper option, of course. But like, do bear in mind that there are cheaper options out there. Like, you don't need to invest in a fancy meal prep company. You really don't. You don't need to invest in fancy like produce. You just need to invest in the bare minimum and like give your children the most basic of knowledge, even just so that they don't end up being like my 300-pound life.
The habits need to be formed at a young age. Just like if that's the child's life is used to eating Mackies and Domino's every night, it's like that is how he or she will grow up, just eating those same foods.
And as well, this is why we see like so many people who are overweight or are unhappy with their body or whatever it is, because these people often come to us wanting this quick fix. But the reason why we tell them that like a longer, more sustainable approach is more necessary than this quick fix is because it takes so much time to unlearn those bad habits that you already have, especially if they're ingrained from childhood. Like, think about how many years those bad habits have been formed over. Like, you aren't going to break those bad habits in 4 weeks. You have to give yourself the time and be kind to yourself while you're doing it. You're learning. So it's you have to give yourself that time to unlearn that behavior. It's like anything.
We live in a society of now. I was speaking to Adam Martin about this the other day, and you see it impact, especially in our job. You see it impact every factor in what we do. Of when you have someone come up to you, and because we live in such an instant society of like, there's pictures of people looking amazing straight there on your phone, food delivered to your door. You can have something on Amazon the same day. You can have food delivered to you. You can get a taxi like that. Like, everything is just now. When it comes to health and a healthy lifestyle, it all takes time, and a lot people just aren't used to that.
Well, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, isn't it? It's not just something you do for 6 weeks. It's
so like,
life is this now. If you want to
cheaper food, like if you go to Asda to do your shop, the veg is expensive. If you were to then spend an extra 20 minutes going to your local, like we've got a local food stall thing that's just opened up on West Derby Road. We're in a very low income area. That's fresh fruit and veg there, and that's all they sell, and it's ridiculously cheap. Like a full punnet of like 500 strawberries was like 80p.
What that guy said to me, which really stuck with me, is he said one phrase. I'm sure it was like, if everyone ate carrot and coriander soup, the economy would just be fucked. Like, the budgets that Mackey's have and the budgets that Domino's have, and then you compare it to that shop that you just mentioned. Like, no one knows that shop's there, but everyone knows Mackey's is there. It's like society is geared to there's millions and millions of hours have been spent researching like what colours to make these pictures that they put in bus stops. They put it on they put it on your phone. It's on the TV. And
make no mistake about the way that a supermarket's set up either. Like, you know that around the edges, that's the bad stuff. The bad stuff. Sorry, I'm doing that little air quotation thing with my hands. You're not going to see this, but that's what I'm doing. That's why it's there. That's a marketing tactic. That's a marketing tactic, so that when you walk in the store, that is the first thing that you see. That is the visual that you're going with throughout the store. So when you're shopping for your greens and whatever, really you're thinking about the massive chocolate bar that you've just seen on the way in that is now on offer for £1.
Yeah. The crafty fuckers, they put the most expensive shit at eye level. They also put the milk and bread. No, I don't know if it's in every shop, but definitely Asda. Every Asda you go into, or every Asda that I've ever been into since someone told me this, the milk and bread is in the direct opposite corner from where the door is. So if you want to get to that bread and milk, which is what most people are going to the shop for, or what people are always going to get when they go to the shop, you have to go across the shop. And the likelihood is you're going to see something on the way to that bread and milk that you're going to buy.
Museums have been doing it for years, mate. You can't leave a museum without going to the gift shop.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
IKEA are the fucking best at it.
Yeah.
Like,
you just spend like 6 weeks of your life trying to escape IKEA.
You have to walk past every single item in the shop before you get out. Otherwise, you don't get out.
Right at the door, they're like, "Hey, how was your escape from IKEA? Do you want some of our food that's conveniently by the door?"
Yeah, and then they're trying to sell you Marabou, which is unreal chocolate. And they're there like, come on, this is what you need.
Just placed around the shop is little baskets full of dime. Like,
yeah.
We've been in here for 6 weeks now. Near the end, have some dime. Like, they're not soft.
But that's like the millions of dollars, we're not in America, millions of pounds and millions of hours of research is spent working out how to make you eat lots of food, not carrot and coriander soup. So it's just,
And that's why it seems
society's
like
a
the
bit
most
fucked up.
unappealing option. Like, that's why it seems so unappealing, because like the fast food, shall we say, is marketed as something more exciting, something more tasty, something, you don't really get that for vegetables. You don't really get that for lean chicken.
On
For
that,
chicken.
have you seen the vegetable advert that's out now to try and get kids to eat vegetables?
Huh?
No.
It's terrible. Like,
Is it
so
bad?
McDonald's marketed as tasty, lovely, all the chocolates made to look really nice, all the like, hyper palatable, high calorie foods marketed to taste, to make you look like it's lovely and tasty. And I don't know whether it's a government advert or whatever it is. I think it is. The advert is fight back against vegetables, and the advert's depicting these monsters, little monster vegetables coming, and the kids have to eat them to like get rid of them because they're monsters. Like, we're trying to encourage them to eat them, and you're showing the broccoli as a bad guy. Like,
What the,
You're showing the broccoli as a monster here.
yeah,
what the fuck?
whatever the like. It's just a warped message of, we're trying to get kids to eat vegetables. We're trying to look good by telling kids to eat vegetables, but we don't want to make them too tasty because McDonald's.
Mm.
Like,
And that's not anyone saying, like, don't have a McDonald's, by the way. This isn't anyone saying, don't you ever dare have a fast food
All we're
like
saying is
item.
don't nail it every night.
Yeah, like it's just about it's you know what, I say this literally all the time, but consistency is key, and it's what you do consistently that determines your results, not what you do on a one-off. So if you have a one-off meal every now and then that is some kind of fast food, like, okay, like, don't sweat the small stuff. Like, what you do consistently will override what you do every once in a while. But if you're the kind of person that is consistently nailing burgers every single day, like, the fact of the matter is your good eating and good training sessions and all that are in the minority. They're not the consistency. The consistency is your bad nutrition. So that's not a one-off. Like, that's the thing that I think people need to get to grips with. No one's saying don't eat these things, although I know that we have been kind of saying about moving away from eating that stuff, but we're saying reduce your intake of that stuff. Look at other things, like, you don't need to buy the best of everything. It just needs to be sufficient.
I think people need educating. Like yesterday when we were talking about the podcast about racism, people need to be fucking educated. But in the same way, again, not comparing racism to eating vegetables like Jack just did. But
throw me under the
We'll
bus.
cut that out.
like, people need to know that they need to eat vegetables. Like, people don't think they do. Like, people aren't aware of how important vegetables are, and so it's like, I forgot what I'm saying. I'm gonna cut this out.
No, leave it, because I know what you're saying. Like, so I cut veg out for people. Don't understand the importance of actually eating vegetables. They just get hammered with eat veg, it's good, but they don't understand what's actually going on inside and how good it actually is. Like,
You jogged me memory, lad. Nice one.
I pulled some veg out just because I was really busy and like just was eating on the go in between having like a busy couple of days. It was like 4 days. My digestion went out the window. Like, went out the window, and that was 4 days because my digestion is so used to having those nutrients in there that it fucking threw a hissy fit when they weren't there.
And the thing is, the reason that we tell you to do this kind of thing, everything that we tell you to do as a reasoning behind it, it's not just like throwaway comments like eat your veg. Like Jack was saying, like, that threw his digestion off completely. Because digestion is thrown off completely, that can like put your body into a state of stress. So it adds more stresses. So that then recovery is harder. Like, training becomes a bit more of a chore because your body's not recovering quick enough to then train again. Like, it just leads to a whole list of problems.
Even outside of training, it's like every single process that happens in your body is controlled by the vitamins and minerals. Like, everything, every enzyme that does a job in your body has been created and is most likely got some sort of vitamin attached to it that gives it its shape so that it can work. It's like, if you're not giving your body the nutrients that it needs, it can't work. you cannot be healthy, you cannot train hard, you cannot get the results you want, but also you're probably going to die like 20 years earlier. So what I was going to say, which you reminded me of, is I was watching Jamie Oliver the other day. How hilarious!
Big J.
How hilarious is it? He's just trying to get kids to eat healthy, and everyone hates him.
Oh,
Everyone.
He took
No,
away
why though?
Turkey Twizzlers. That's why we hate him.
No.
Our generation can't forget Turkey Twizzlers being
That is what it is. People hate him because he took away the Turkey Twizzlers.
This
Like,
guy,
give it a rest.
the guy literally tried to make kids be a bit healthier, but took away Turkey Twizzlers, right? And it's impacted this generation so much that his Liverpool restaurant went under. The whole restaurant chain, I think, went under. It was made up because he took away Turkey Twizzlers.
Like, the UK, like, we're hating on Jamie Oliver for taking away Turkey Twizzlers,
Nope.
but not praising him for the fact that he actually wanted to ingrain some good habits in their children.
That's what I was going for, and I just forgot what I was saying just then. It's like people need to be educated. Like, this man is trying to extend your child's lives and give them a better quality of life.
The issue
And,
is...
like, he did something with school dinners, didn't he? And there was like reports in the news of like mums coming up to the school gate with like macchies and that. Like, nah.
The issue I think with Jamie is he's hard to like.
Yeah, he's a bit of a bellend, isn't he?
As a person. And also, you don't fix a problem by just snatching away the issue.
Yeah.
You're a child. Like, if you want a kid to eat healthily, you don't try beginning that process while they're holding an ice cream.
Yeah, it's like what we do with clients as well. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, if a client really, really loves biscuits, they can have biscuits. You don't take biscuits. No, you're not allowed to eat biscuits, otherwise you'll be fat forever.
It just reduces adherence to the program.
And also, like, you've got like Caribbean, from like Caribbean descent, aren't you?
Yeah.
So I'm sure your family were aware of the jerked rice, and Jamie, it's not your bag to start messing with that, mate. Like,
nah. Do you know what's hilarious on that topic? The funniest, just not to sound that this could be a little bit anti-racist. When English people or people of non-African or Caribbean descent try and cook African or Caribbean food, it's hilarious. It's just so funny. It's like one time I went to a pub and there was jerk chicken with rice and peas. If anyone knows what rice and peas is, it's not actual peas. It's like rice with kidney beans in. And it was genuinely just a plate of rice with like garden peas in. And I remember I ordered it and I was just in tears on the floor, crying, laughing. Because that's like...
But again, like, I think it's a really British thing that, like, we like to try and be, like, as a whole, we like to try and be inclusive of other cultures.
Yeah.
But we think, like, by making a really bad attempt at, like, jerk chicken and rice and peas, we're, like, so culturally aware.
Like, that's going to be so appealing, the bad version of the food.
We love a curry because, like, Indian people moved to the UK and brought curry with them, but the curry that they make in the UK is not an Indian curry, and it's so far away from it. But we're like, oh, we love an Indian curry, but it's like that isn't, mate. Like, that's our curry. That's an English curry. Like, that was made for our simple little palates. Like, it's funny, isn't it? I love that about food. Like, I seen someone posting, it was just completely off topic. I seen someone posting they went to Italy and they were looking for Italian food like you'd find in what we call like Frankie and Benny's. They were like, I don't want none of this fancy stuff that they've got in Italy. I just want some of the stuff like you get in Frankie and Benny's. Does anyone know where to get any in Rome?
Oh, fucking hell.
Mate, you're in the home.
You're in Rome.
You're in Italy. Like, it's about as Italian as cooking can get. Like, if you're struggling to find an Italian dish in Italy, there's a problem. Like, I'd be worried if you were going to Italy and getting some Frankie and Benny's level Italian food. Do you know what I mean?
I said to you before when I went to Naples, that pizza, it's not even remotely similar. Like, it's genuinely like another level. Like, I've got a picture of it on my phone. It just looks shit. Like, it looks terrible. Like it's just like a piece of bread with some tomato sauce on and like 4 dots of mozzarella. I literally put it in my mouth and I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever tasted. Like not even up for debate. I've never tasted anything as good as this. And it's just bread, tomato sauce, and some mozzarella cheese. But it's just like the way they do it. I don't know what it is. It's just, and it's like we've tried to take pizza, and now we've got Domino's and like Papa John's and that, which is nice, but it's not. It's just never the same.
Same though, is it? We always, I think, again, a very British thing that we take ideas, rob them, and then make a really terrible attempt at it and be like, no, that's it. We've got it right. That's what it's always tasted
That's
like.
a really good metaphor for what America did. We took that land and was like, no, this is it. This is ours. This is ours.
What people that were here? Don't know about. No, America.
This is ours. What? We did it better than they did. What?
We're on about pizza. This is pizza meat. That's what. Tikka masala, curry meat. Curry. That's what curry is. Tikka masala. Put cream. Yeah. No.
I love how this conversation has gone from what's it like to be a female PT to tikka masala.
This is my favourite thing about these podcasts, is that we're all over the place.
Lucy, I want to ask you about Adele and her weight loss, because you put an extremely passionate IGTV on the other day and it was amazing.
I did. Yeah. I seen that like quite a lot of people on social media were coming for Adele really badly.
I'm really sorry, guys, before you get into this is like a dead interesting topic. I'm actually going to have to jump off the podcast today. I've got some stuff booked in with clients and some other things going on. Thank you all for joining us. Please stay, listen to the end, listen to what Lucy's going to say about the podcast. But I'm going to have to go. So thank you all very much, and I'll catch you on the next episode.
In a bit, lad.
Bye. Yeah.
You have time, Lucy, or have you got a call at some point?
Yeah, I've got a call within the next 10 minutes, but can answer this and then.
Rush through it then. Come on.
Yeah. Okay, right. So I noticed that a lot of people were kind of coming for Adele on social media and just like saying like some horrible shit. Just like, oh, you are disgracing your former self. You don't love yourself anymore. You can't be body positive anymore. Like you're not a pioneer for the body positive community anymore. Things of that kind of nature. And I just think that nobody really has got the right to state what is right for somebody else. I can see where maybe loved ones of people may step in when someone is particularly over or underweight, and it's like a life-saving kind of thing. I can see why people may comment on that, but I can't see why people have got such an issue with people losing a healthy amount of weight or gaining a healthy amount of weight. I don't understand. If that's not your goal, that's fine, but I don't think that by Adele losing a lot of weight and improving her quality of life by doing so, I don't see that as a negative, and I don't see it like she can't be in the body positive movement anymore. I think that like sometimes the body positivity movement gets distorted by these people who are just promoting being morbidly obese and overweight. That's not healthy. Nobody's saying don't be body positive while you're on the road to like being a healthier you. Nobody's saying that you need to be a size 10, 8, 6. Nobody is saying that at all. You should always be like positive about your body, because you shouldn't be talking negatively to yourself. But I just see it as like kind of sad and like nasty spirited to say to somebody, oh, like you're a disgrace to your former self, like because you've lost weight.
That just doesn't even make sense. I think it could be quite a controversial statement, but I think largely a lot of that stuff is like there's just no disputing the fact that being morbidly obese is healthy, or that it's unhealthy, sorry. There's just no disputing that. So these people who are trying to justify it with science and saying, no, I'm happy in my body and I'm healthy, you're not. So just stop saying it. Secondly, I mean, you may be happy, but you're not healthy. So stop saying it. It's like, I feel like when people are ridiculing Adele here for losing weight and becoming healthy and massively or drastically improving her physique, it's almost like they feel that she's putting them to shame. It's like I feel like there's an element of laziness or an element of, I don't
Like
want to do
jealousy.
this. I don't want to put all that work in because I'm just not, I just don't want to. I haven't got the drive to do so. So I'm going to pretend that I'm happy with it. I'm going to pretend that I'm healthy, even though deep down I'm not happy with it. I'm also not healthy. I'm just going to pretend that I am happy with it, and I'm going to now ridicule Adele because she's actually challenged the thoughts of the body positivity movement, and she's stepped out of her comfort zone, but I'm not ready to do so. So I'm gonna make her feel bad.
Yeah, I think that a lot of that hate was that. But I also just think that, you know, it wouldn't be okay for a considerably thinner woman to comment on Adele's before picture and say to Adele, like, God, you're so overweight, like, you need to lose weight, like, and comment on her physique there. Like, that is not okay. Like, that would not have been okay. So why is it okay to look at her slimmer frame now and say, like, you looked much better when you were overweight? Like, you would never have said you would look so much better if you dropped a few stone, like, lost a few pounds. So it should never be okay the other way round. Like, as long as she's not underweight and she's healthy, then what's the issue? Like, the way I see it is, like, if somebody is happy with what they look like and it's not health threatening, then why do we care? Like, why do we care what they're doing with their body? Like, let them do what they want. Like, I'm not asking anybody to become a bodybuilder and, like, want a six pack, or I'm not asking anybody to be a size 6. Like, I'm not saying that that's the necessity. What I'm saying is, like, if you're carrying a little bit of extra weight and you're happy and you're a healthy person, like, you don't have any ailments, etc., like more power to you. Like, you do what you feel is making you happy, and if you're happy with that physique, then that is perfectly fine, and I genuinely don't see an issue with that. However, if you are overweight and it's concerning to a health professional, then that's the issue with that. You obviously can't be healthy if it is concerning to health professionals. Like, there is lots of dangers to being obese. Like, we know this because it's been researched for years. So to be 100% healthy and be morbidly obese is impossible.
Yeah.
That's the issue with that. And when Adele very, very first came on the scene, she was morbidly obese. She was a big woman, and but the thing is as well, people's weight doesn't change with their weight or their physique. So this annoyed me particularly because I still have the same view of Adele now as what I did when she first started. Like, I feel when she was a bigger lady, I thought that she had an amazing voice. I thought that she was a pretty person. I appreciated her music. I still think that she has an amazing voice. I still think she's a pretty person, and I still enjoy her music. Like, nothing has changed. The worth of her has not changed. So for previous fans of her to now not be fans of her because her physique's changed, I think is, like, so fickle and so, like, far removed from what we should be, like, promoting as people, just as human beings.
It's just ridiculous. It's just completely surface level, like, just dickhead behavior.
I think that people have become accustomed, not just in the fitness industry, but in everything, to comment on people's looks, people's physiques, people's lives, just because certain people may show a little bit more of their life on social media than what other people do, or because maybe they're like famous for something, or like people think that they have the automatic right to comment on, like, what you look like and your body, and that's just not the case. Like, if you've got nothing nice to say, like, keep it to yourself. Like, most of the time situations aren't concerning, as in, you know, most of the time. It obviously goes beyond like health and fitness, but in terms of what we're talking about, like if somebody is severely overweight, like, they know they're severely overweight. Like something will have been said to them. Their family will be worried about them. Like you don't need to jump on there and like bash that person
You
for
don't
being
need to
overweight.
tell me, man. I know.
Yeah, like you don't need to. Like you don't need to. If somebody is like really seriously underweight, then intervention is obviously going to happen. But again, their family themselves, like people will already know. Like there's no mean comment on a social media platform ever did any good. Like you say, like telling somebody how underweight they are and how ugly they are and how horrible their face is and all the rest of it isn't going to bring about anything. Like if you've got nothing nice to say, like I just think that you shouldn't say it. It's all well and good having an opinion, but having an opinion that you can articulate in a way that is the least offensive.
I put a story up the other week. It was like, it said something like social media has given people social media has made people comfortable with being rude to people without the fear of being punched in the face.
Yeah, it's like
Like,
genuinely true.
half the shit, no, in fact, like 99% of the shit, of the negative stuff on Instagram or on any social media platform, no one would say that to the person's face because
No,
it gets spotted rather than nose.
it's not only that, but it would be the embarrassment of like
Just to be so rude to someone's face.
like the embarrassment of being that rude, like
Yeah.
to somebody's face.
But for some reason, people think they can do it over a screen.
It's because it's not actual person contact. Like they don't know this person, like you've never met them, but they're leaving you a hate comment. Like leaving a hate comment for why? For what? Like if that is what you are spending all of your time doing, then I hate to tell you, but there is something wrong within yourself. I said this in the video and I'll say it on here. Like there's something wrong within you that you need to fix if you feel like you need to comment negatively on other people all of the time.
They're just projecting hate that they feel for themselves onto other people. Most of the things that you're insecure about yourself, you hate about other people.
Yeah, and there's no, for example, with the Adele thing, like you were saying before, I think a lot of the problem with that is like, you know, oh God, she's changed herself, so I can no longer relate to this individual because I'm bigger than her, or I'm an overweight woman, and I related to Adele so much because she was also overweight, and now those people who related to her so much feel like they can't relate to her anymore, and they haven't got the same kind of identities. And I think that that's the problem. People relate themselves too much to other people and get like emotionally attached to the things that they do. Like, don't let yourself be emotionally attached to whether or not Adele loses or gains weight. It has no effect on you whatsoever, and it should be about you and what you want for your own body and like the way that you feel comfortable. And like if you feel comfortable carrying a little bit of extra weight, then that's the way you feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable being a little bit leaner, then that's the way you feel comfortable.
Everyone can do whatever the fuck they want with their own bodies. I seen my dad sent me this picture the other day, and it was like it's a little bit hippie, like the sickest phrase I've ever heard. It said something. It said earth suits, so it's like to me, in the way I feel about spirituality and the world and religion and everything, I feel like we all have something within us. I'm not going to start going on about souls and shit, but regardless of whatever it is, our bodies are earth suits, and that it's a way for our souls or our beings to manifest themselves in this world so that we can do things. And it's like, you can do what the fuck you want with your body.
I think that's a pretty amazing way of looking at it.
Yeah. But it's such a sick phrase, earth suits. I'm going to make my earth suit dead lean.
I've got my earth suit on.
I've got my earth suit on. I'm going to make it dead brown and dead lean.
Dead brown and dead lean. Love that.
Going to make it massive lean and brown. Right. I know you've got a call now, Lou, so we'll end it there. Thank you so much for coming on. Hopefully,
thank you for having me.
I will see you in the next 10 years at some point.
Yes, we will. We'll have to organise something when all this madness is over.
Yeah. Speak to you soon. See you in the next episode,
Bye.
everyone.